also from MANKO Association, and due to this I will talk about manipulation of information in media, and as an example I will use smoking ban in Poland. When we think about manipulation, we generally can say that it means to misrepresent, to garby for personal gain, and to improve by using hidden influence, and for all actions made to elicit specific reactions. And for these reasons, the word manipulation has a negative connotation. And when we think about media manipulation, we usually think about the different techniques used by journalists, but journalists seem to want to have an influence on us and manipulate in a way resembles objectivity. This begs also the question why they do this, but whatever reasons, we rarely look from the other side's perspective. But if we do so, we cannot omit the fact that manipulation in media isn't only the way how journalists manipulate the readers. This is also how journalists are manipulated by the other environments, which in this way manipulate also the readers who read works of manipulate the journalists. I will try to show manipulation in media mainly from this second side. And as an example, I will analyze the situation of November 2010, when in Poland the smoking ban was brought in. To completely understand the problem, we should know that when talking about tobacco policy, there are two antagonistic groups connected with this policy. And they've got conflicting aims and interests. And the first group is tobacco environment, while the second is pro-healthy environment. They are internally diverse, but have common aims. And the first group is pro-healthy lobby, which contains public and non-government institutions. Their main aims is to protect health and to reduce amount of people smoking actively and passively. And this conflicts with the promotion of tobacco use. And the second group is pro-tobacco lobby. It contains public and non-government institutions. Their main aim is to promote tobacco production, sale and promotion. They also include public, private and non-government institutions. Their main goals are to, I said it, and they also want to counteract laws that reduce the possibilities of use the tobacco in Poland. Due to this, they try to use a series of strategies helpful in preventing the activities of pro-health environments. This business makes a huge profit, but also huge losses in society and health, worth huge amounts of money. And that's the reason why people around the whole world discuss anti-tobacco policy. In Poland, the biggest restriction that has been introduced is the smoking ban in public places and workplaces that was implemented in November 2010. One of the strategies that both sides employ is using the media as a tool to affect people and public opinion. Nowadays, media is a really important instrument used to mold public opinion and to propagate ideologies or to communicate to unreflective masses. Usually, when journalists use the arguments and point of view represented by both groups, they do it without reflections, and in this way they become only a tool. They are manipulated and unknowingly manipulate the others. Next, I will show how it worked according to introduction smoking ban in Poland. As the result of several months' works and negotiations, at 15th of November 2010 in Poland, people can no longer smoke in public places such as bars, pubs, restaurants, playgrounds, public transport, hospitals, universities, and other places designed for public use. Science that has a big influence for many groups, they took part in discussion in media. All of them have international argumentative strategies proven in the other countries. In some examples, I will show you how the media discourse in Poland was formed on the top of these strategies and how the media were under the influence of aforementioned group. Second-hand smoke is the main reason why international policy aspires toward a smoking ban in public places. Many researchers show that second-hand smoke causes the same illness as smoking actively and is equally mortal. In many countries, tobacco lobbies deny that second-hand smoke is harmful. In Poland they don't do this, but they try to reduce the knowledge about it or to downplay the problem. As an example, in the Polish newspaper Gazeta Wyborcza, well-known smoker Mr. Jacek Żakowski said, "I prefer to die because of the smoke and I see no reason to make me difficult to do this. After all, I don't cause damage to the other." The second aspect is popularity of smoking ban. And to gain acceptation and to gain acceptation and to introduce smoking ban effectively, pro-health environment show in media the strong social support, and not only among the smokers, but non-smokers, but also smokers. And this argumentative was also used in Polish media. For example, 73% Poles support smoking ban in public places, results from researches made by TNS Swobod. But the opposite group, to show social disapproval for the ban, communicates in media that smokers are protesting massively against the new law. And in the same newspaper, 3 days later, a journalist wrote that was the last weekend when in majority of pubs and restaurants we could smoke cigarettes. The new regulations prohibit smoking places except for specially allotted room isolated for the others. In pubs were crowded for the last cigarettes went thousands of Warsaw citizens. Personal liberty is the leading argument used especially by tobacco environment. They said that smoking ban is an interference in their right to choose and their personal liberty. On the contrary, non-smokers said that smoke in their presence is interference in their personal liberty and their right to good health and to breathe fresh air. The media referred this argument and adopted it as their own. The media in general like to use this type of argument that stresses taking care for personal liberty. We can see this in examples in the newspaper Gazeter Wyborcza. Non-smoking majority outvoted discrimination of smoking minority. Not separation, but discrimination. And that isn't the journalist words, but this is a citation, but also choice which citation use is a form of manipulation. Sometimes for false objectivity, journalists quote both groups, but all while adopting one position. Journalists, for example, may use 70% of quotations belonging to one side, whilst only 30% from the other. And this is also a kind of manipulation. Of course, there are a lot of different aspects and examples I can talk about, but this is kind of never-ending story. I tried to show you that media use not their own argumentative strategies, but they use arguments of both the pro-tobacco and pro-healthy groups. And due to this, journalists are very often manipulated and unknowingly manipulate their readers. Sometimes they do it unknowingly, but unfortunately sometimes intentionally. And as an example, we can see it in these headlines, which show opinion and only one point of view and are biased. Polish plantations in danger of bankruptcy due to European Union. Smoking ban is making Polish budget 2,000 million zloty weaker. And Polish plantations are bankrupting due to directive of European Union. Thank you for your attention.